Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I was just reading an email and I was like, oh no, it's 10 o'clock. Ah! Right, let me just share this on Teams and then I will get going. I've been watching too much TikTok. I'm like, what's that supposed to be about, babe? Yeah, it's in my head all the time. What's that supposed to be about, baby? Hi, Lachlan. Let me move this back ever so slightly. Hi, Sam. Hi, Shan. How are we? We all good? We all had a nice half term. Ready for a bit of a tricky one this morning. Da, da, da. I'm full on Mickey Mouse Club today. You can't see, but there we go. Proper Mickey Mouse Club today. Is that Brayden? Hey, Grace. Hi, Molly. Oh, this is lush. Oh, I can't tell you how much I miss you guys. Just, it makes me want to cry how much I miss you. Right then, lovelies. This is, now normally, this is something we do obviously like a dedicated lesson to, which obviously we are doing today. But you would obviously have me in front of you and I would be trying to help you as much as I can, going round and helping. And now what's quite good is that you have the Cold War expert in front of you, because I marked this paper last year, was meant to be marking it this year, but you know, coronavirus, and I'm going to try and mark it next year, even though I'm in Qatar. So that does mean that you will be able to give me a little email if you want any help with your technique. Now, previously, when we were teaching this question, we felt it was the most difficult question on the Cold War paper. Since marking it, this is the easiest. And I think this is probably the easiest 8-mark question you will face. It's not as difficult as Pluck. It's definitely not as difficult as that, because that one's just ridiculous. This one is definitely the easiest one by far. Right, I've got a few new colours. I've stole them off my dad. Sorry, Dad, if you are tuning in. Sorry. Right, we're going to start then. So, the Hungarian Uprising is a beautiful one to start with a narrative account, because it actually came up on the last paper that they sat to the year 11s. So that would have been 2019, the 2019 paper. And it was their narrative account, and your girl predicted it. And the reason it's such a beautiful one to do a narrative account with is because it really follows the structure absolutely perfectly. If you need like a model answer, that's the one. And I have actually written a model answer because I'm so sad, which I will share with you next week once I've marked your 8 markers. Now, don't worry if it comes back and you're like, oh, I didn't get as much marks as I wanted, or I didn't, because this is your first real go at it and you don't have a teacher in front of you. So we will go. Right, a narrative account. Like I said, it is what we call, it's a narrative account. It is the second question that you get in, you're on a suitcase currently. It is the second question that you will face in the Cold War exam. There are no options for this. You literally get one option, unfortunately. But they can be, they will always give you 2 different bullet points to help you. Now, what's brilliant about those bullet points is they will shape 2 of your paragraphs, because you will need to write 3 paragraphs for this question. You'll need to write the cause. Oh, let's go for pink, which is your start, your beginning of a story. The event itself, which is effectively your middle. And the consequence, which is effectively your end. All right. So it is, yes, when they say, oh, a narrative account analysing the key events, That's effectively you are saying about the cause or the start of an event, the event itself, the middle of it, and the consequences, the end part. So with that then, just like a story, you need to then make sure that they are linking to one another. So let's just put that in there. There's got to be a flow to your story. There's got to be a real sense here of, okay, that causes that, which causes that. There's that nice linear line, which does mean that one of the main things that me as an examiner, I would be looking for is linking. Good morning, Stalin. Okay, link. Now, I'm sure your English teachers will have something different to say in terms of me, but I consider a linking word something that shows that you are connecting, or connective, I should say, something that you are connecting one sentence to another. I'm not a student. I'm not a history teacher. Well done. I'm not an English teacher, but that was my understanding of what connective is. It connects two things together. So you need to be able to link your. I love that we've got Stalin in here. You need to link your ideas together. And you may feel like that is going overboard when you look at the PowerPoint that I've put on, and I've done it about the Berlin crisis, when I've underlined and put in bold my linking statements. I do about 3 or 4 per paragraph. You've got to constantly join your ideas together, because it shows the examiner, okay, this student understands how it went from this to this to this to this. And that can be in little baby steps, or that can just genuinely be at the start of each paragraph. Firstly, secondly, finally. Those are the phrases that are the most key when it comes to this question. Oh, my stomach's growling. Okay, those are the most important. Soviet Union's going well. I'm pleased to hear it, Joseph. I feel like, can I call you Uncle Joe? Because, you know, I feel like we're there since I've, you know, studied you since you took over the Soviet Union. I genuinely want a reply from Stalin there. He is my fave. So we've got link. Sure. Brilliant. Thanks, Uncle Joe. Now, we've got this whole organisation and the linking. Now, that is what we call, as an examiner, AO2. All right. So that is effectively how you structure your answer. Now, unlike the Germany course and the Elizabeth course and the crime course, your knowledge is going to be the first thing that the examiners are looking for. Weirdly enough, in the Cold War exam, they're looking more for structure. Why? I don't know. But when I was marking, we were told we needed to lead with the AO2 rather than the AO1. Now, the assessment objective 2 is this, your structure, okay? So that's why we say 3 paragraphs, because then you cover what the main thing they want is a coherent or well-organized, structured answer. Now, that is covered if you do 1 paragraph on the start, 1 on the middle, 1 on the end. Boom, tick. The first part of AO2 is ticked. They then want to see that you have linked those ideas together. Boom, connectives. That's the second bit of AO2 ticked. That will immediately put you into what we call level 3. And now level 3 is where you get 6 to 8 marks. And that shows that you have a higher level of understanding of how you structure a narrative account. It's not too scary, I don't think. Feel free to comment in the live chat if you feel like I need to go over anything at all. But that is the main bit, all right? That's the main structure. The second, or the first, I should say, AO1, the other AO that we go on is knowledge. Now, this may surprise you, because it surprised me. Your knowledge doesn't have to be completely perfect. Okay, Question: what is that picture in the bottom left corner? This one. This is my two favourite YouTubers. I had it drawn for me. He sold it. A guy called Gary C and Adam Hatton, who Disney vlog, and Gary went to a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party dressed as a pumpkin and went round shouting, I'm still a pumpkin. And then I bought it. There you go. It's amazing. I do love them. Adam Hatton, check him out. He's cool. Sorry, I think we should have won the space race. You did up until 1969, Uncle Joe. Then you didn't put a man on the moon. A little bit awkward, but it's fine. It's fine. You won the first bit, and that's what counts. So we've done AO1, AO2. We've done AO2. Let's now do AO1. Okay. Now, like I said, you'll be able to see it on the question that I've set, but I give you 2 bullet points for the Hungarian uprising, which is Soviet tanks and Imre Nagy. All right. She's cross-legged now and comfortable. You get 2 bullet points. Exactly, Uncle Joe. That's the main thing. You did everything first apart from that. So I count that as a victory. Now, they give you 2 bullet points and you have to talk about them. I did question this when I was talking to my team leader, my person that was leading my examiner training. I know, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't. It's just what I'm like. Now, I asked about these 2 bullet points because when they give you the bullet points in the 12 marker in Germany, I say you don't have to use them if you don't want to. And I made that very clear to you when I was teaching it you. I made that very clear when I was teaching it to you about if you don't use the bullet points, you won't be penalised. You will not be marked down if you don't use them. You kind of got a bit of free reign. They're just there to help you if you're really stuck. In the Cold War paper, in this narrative account one, if you don't use the bullet points, it screws you over for the question. Which is a little bit annoying because it's like, well, you don't do it on one paper, but you've got to do it on this paper. So that is very frustrating. I totally appreciate that. And that is just the example of the way they work. But those 2 bullet points do need to be incorporated into your answer, all right? So they do need to make an appearance. So when I was talking about the Berlin airlift, well, the Berlin crisis of 1948 to 49, I talked about one of the bullet points was the Berlin airlift, and the other bullet point was I can't remember what the other bullet point was. I'm so glad I wrote it. Yeah, they basically they had the other bullet point. You have to cover those because they will form 2 of your paragraphs. Now, it might be the start and the middle. It might be the start and the end. It might be the middle and the end. Either way, 2 of these paragraphs will contain the bullet points, which is pretty good because it means then you've hit a marker there, all right? But you do have to include one specific fact, all right, of your own. It has to be a specific fact, all right? So in my example one that I did for you about the Berlin crisis, I talked about NATO and I talked about the permanent division of Germany. And I said that the West created a brand new country with Western Germany and the East created a new country with Eastern Germany. So you've got that one specific fact. Now, here's a little hint for all of you people that are joining in. If you mention the Warsaw Pact in your Hungarian uprising narrative account, you will hit that mark. So if you talk about Nagy wanted to leave the Warsaw Pact, got it. And it can be really specific. Now, it doesn't have to be something on its own. if you know what I mean. So if your bullet points are the start and the middle, your one specific fact does not have to be in the consequences paragraph. Your specific fact can be in the causes or the middle. You've just got to have a specific fact somewhere in there. It doesn't matter whether it is about, it just can't be about the bullet point. So if you said that 6,000 Soviet tanks went into Hungary, that's not going to be a specific fact because one of your bullet points is Soviet tanks. Does that make sense? It can be in the same paragraph as your bullet point, but it's got to be different from the PowerPoint. Bullet point. Okay. So we've got that structure, start, middle, end. We've got the link, linking it all together. And now we're going to talk about the 2 bullet points with one specific fact. Does that seem okay so far? I've been talking for 16 minutes about a narrative account very passionately. Give me like a little thumbs up emoji in the chat if you're okay so far. Or if you need to go anything, let me know. I will pause for a sip of tea. No one's put a thumbs up emoji. This worries me. Hey, thanks, Molly. Brilliant. Okay. What else did we need to cover? Oh, right. So that would be then your AO1. You show that you have a good general understanding of what's going on. I'm confused. Okay. Shan, tell me where you're confused, which bit, and I will use the Hungarian uprising one that I've set you as like I'll do a little plan with you. Would that help? If I do a plan of the answer you've got to do? I'll just wait for Shan to answer. Calm. Suspense. Just generally how to answer the question. A plan would help. Right. All right. We'll go with a plan, and then if need be, I will chat with you individually if you still need some help. That's not a problem at all. You know I'll help. You know I will. Right. We'll go over planning this answer then. Hungary. Oh, Siri, now's not the time. Actually, yeah, no, Miss Martin, you just have to be brief. Just have to be brief. Okay, so our start then. The start of the Hungarian uprising is all to do with when Stalin dies. Sorry, Uncle Joe. And we have Khrushchev taking over, don't we? And Khrushchev talks about that process of de-Stalinization. So that is our starting point, where Khrushchev comes to power and he makes that secret speech saying, hey, Stalin, you know, you're a good buddy, but I would, okay, thanks. Stalin, you're a good buddy, but I don't agree with your policies. We're going to start a process of de-Stalinization. That then sparks, doesn't it? That then sparks some issues in Hungary, because we've got Rákosi, who is unpopular. And Rákosi is replaced with Imre Nagy, if you remember. So our starting point then is we've got Khrushchev has come to power and put in the process of de-Stalinization. Rákosi, who is a little Stalin puppet, is very unpopular and replaced with Imre Nagy. Nagy then takes over and he runs with this policy, if you remember, of de-Stalinization. He starts demanding freedoms. Including leaving the Warsaw Pact. Everybody with me so far? That is our starting point. Okay, brilliant. Right then, so then our middle. So we are poised. Khrushchev has now had the confirmation from Naj that that Hungary would like to leave the Warsaw Pact. They want all these different freedoms as part of the policy of de-Stalinisation. Now things are starting to heat up. So on the 4th of November, 1956, the Soviet troops invade. I'm going to put tanks because that was one of our bullet points. Okay, look, here we go. Naj, boom, we've talked about him. Tick the bullet point. Soviet tanks, done the bullet point. Warsaw Pact, specific fact. Okay, so the 4th of November, Soviet tanks invade. So this is when you can talk about like the Molotov cocktails, which are very, very topical at the moment. The resistance from the Hungarians. Okay, you can talk about that. And you can then also talk about how it comes to an end with the ceasefire, which is on the 10th of November. But the fighting carries on till 1957. Everyone with us so far? So we've got the actual event of the invasion here. Okay, this is the actual uprising. Okay. Our consequence then. Brilliant, Shan. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So our consequences then of the Hungarian uprising is we've got Naj is executed, isn't he? He's arrested and executed by hanging. And he's taken replaced by a guy called Kadar. We've then also got the fact that the Soviet Union have got control. Go on, run that around. There we go. She can fit it on. We've then got the fact that the East and West tensions then ramp up, don't they? Because the West are like, this is a very bad thing to do. You should not be doing this to Hungary. That is very bad, Soviet Union, you naughty, naughty country. But don't do anything. They fundraise, but that's about it. And that creates tension between the East and the West because the Soviets see the West as meddling in Eastern policies. Can you see how we did that? How we broke that down into a start, a middle, and end? And how when you then put these, so there's our structure, boom, boom, boom. There's our 2 bullet points, which I'm now going to tick here or circle. So we've got that there. There's our specific fact. There's our Soviet tanks. Okay. All right, so we've got those there, our specific facts. You've also got the stuff going on in here that you've talked about Naj being arrested, about the Soviet Union control, the relationship between the East and the West. That's all a specific fact that you could use. So you've got quite a few things that you could put in there. The only thing we haven't done is really link, but you can see from our plan how this story fits together, okay? Now, what I want you to do is I will move this closer and so that you can pause it or take a screenshot or wait, and I will get it actually so you can see it. So that you can then use this plan to help you with your work for today. All right, you are more than welcome to use this plan here. If you are really struggling, I do have a model answer ready to go, like a Sado. And I've also put a little step-by-step guide onto Show My Homework and Teams for you if you are really stuck. I am not teaching again today. All my teaching is done with you guys. I am only on the end of Teams. And if you need a bit of a group call later or anything, please let me know and I will help you in any way, because this is quite tricky. Don't panic if you can't do it. Oh, brilliant, Shan. If you can't do it, that is fine. It's not a problem. This is a very difficult thing. Like I said, this is something normally I would have in front of you and we could do it together and we work through it. It's a little bit more difficult with me being in Plymouth, 62 miles away, and having to do this through YouTube. But that doesn't mean that I can't help you, because I will, and I will talk you through it. If that means I need to come on like a video call and do that, that's not a problem. So feel free to use and abuse this plan. If you need any extra help, just send me a message on Teams or an email. The emails are on my phone, as is Teams. I'm only doing a bit of admin today. You're the best teacher I've ever had. Thanks, Uncle Joe. That's the biggest compliment ever. And yeah, I will not abandon you. I want this publicly said now. I will let you know how to contact me when I'm in Qatar, because I will be able to just give you some help. Oh, guys, don't. You're going to make me cry. That's so cute, you lot. I won't abandon you. I know I'm leaving, but I won't abandon you. I will still be on the end of an email if you need some help. Qatar or no Qatar, all right? But today, if you need any help with this, it's not as an easy concept. Oh, oof, 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 Lachlan, oof. I don't know how to respond to that. I just feel awkward now. I'm sorry. Yeah, if you need anything, I'm waffling now for 27 minutes. Use and abuse this video. Use and abuse the instructions that I put on Show My Homework. And if you need me, please, please, please contact me. I will help. All right? Stay safe. I miss you so, so much. And I will be back at Christmas. I've had my dates for Qatar. I will be back at Christmas. We should still get YouTube videos every week. I'll try my best, because my weekend will be different to you guys. All right, I'll try. I will try and do some videos each week for you. Right, stay safe. Miss you loads. Bye!